market that advises parents to devote less time to their children and more time to their relationship if they want to improve family life. To Raise Happy Kids, Put Your Marriage First, by American family therapist David Code, says that parents should leave children to forge their own path and instead focus on having a fulfilled marriage to provide them with a stable background. So what do you think? Is it a good idea to make your man your #1 priority, or do your children come first?
I think you should make your husband #1. Not all the time, but I think sometimes your man needs you as much as your children do. And I struggle with this because my natural thing is, when I'm busy, is to prioritise and put Beau right at the top of the list. And there are times when I've just not even registered that Paul needs a conversation or needs to kind of share something with me. So, you know, and at the end of the day, the kids fly the coop, and you have got each other, hopefully, left to...
Yeah, but don't you think if Paul's not heard or not listened to, he'll get over it because he's a grown-up, but a child is a child, and that's why they should be #1 in your list of priorities, because they're not able to care for themselves.
But if the kids are a certain age, they will know that maybe Dad needs a bit of attention. And if they see you come home and go straight to your partner and show your partner love and kindness, it makes them feel secure.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you have to make your partner the #1 priority. I'm always slightly suspicious of women that say, my marriage comes first and then my kids. And you think, but how can it? A child is... I mean, I'm the mother of a small baby, so I suppose it's very different. Beau is, what, 10 now?
Yeah.
And your kids are teenagers. So I'm at a stage now where actually my son really does need me. You know, he's utterly dependent. But why should you make a man, a grown adult, a priority over a child that you've chosen to bring in this world and needs you?
But do you spend quality time with...
We went out for dinner yesterday, the two of us, Darren and I, for the first time in ages that we've been able to. But that's just because work's busy, life is busy, and we missed Ben. We're adjusting to kind of doing things on our own again. Not that we're unhappy with that, with the time that we do or don't have. We just accept that right now, with a small child, we aren't each other's #1 priority. He comes first for now, and that will change. He's already at nursery and we're getting more time back for ourselves. But I think if you have a child with the attitude of, well, things are going to stay the same and the child will just fit in around your life, that's unrealistic.
I've got no say on this because I've got no children. But what I have seen is a vast change from my parents' day to days what it is now. When you had kids, when we were kids, we fit in with our parents' lives. We had to fit into what they were doing. And we were in bed for 7, and then they had their time together.
Absolutely, that's my #1 rule.
But now...
7 o'clock, bye.
Everything seems to revolve around the children of the family now, and the parents just sort of drift away a little bit now. That's just my perception of seeing it.
I agree, and it doesn't make the kids feel any more secure. They need to know that Mum and Dad are rock solid and everything's fine there, and it makes them feel great.
I think you're absolutely right about that. I think when your children see that you and your husband are tight, that does make them feel incredibly secure. But I think you've got to be flexible with this issue of priority, really. I mean, it's quite natural while your child's a baby, you know, that your Ben's a baby, that you are going to focus all your attention on him. But like you were saying, my kids are now teenagers, and I can't get them into bed at 7 o'clock anymore. You know, they've got their own agenda, they've got homework, they've got stuff they want to do. And so that means there's less and less time for Peter and I to spend together. And I must admit that just recently we've realised, because we've started to be able to go off for little weekends on our own, you know, that we've realised that we are very different when we're on our own from how we are when we're with the children. And we just want to have a bit more of that, being on our own and making each other the priority. So I do think there's something in this, but you've got to be flexible.
Not one to the exclusion of the other. Why can't you make them both really important in your life?
But I've also seen women who live their lives through the children and they completely forget about the husband, and you have to balance it.
Yes,
I can understand what happens when I think they were in the article they referred to as helicopter parents, where they're just like hovering over the children all the time.
Oh, I hate that.
I'm not a great fan of it, but you can't choose the kind of parent you're going to be. We're winging it half the time anyway. We don't know what we're doing. So, you know, and some people don't have fantastic role models and they just make it up as they go along and are insecure. I mean, there were times, and I was very much like that, hovering over because I didn't want to get it wrong. You know, I was panicking because there were certain things my mum did. I love my mum to bits, but I wouldn't necessarily do the same thing with my kids. So I was having to kind of you know, try and make it work. And it's a really responsible, important job that you're doing. So you can get a bit obsessed about it. I don't think it's a great way to be, but I can understand why some people do.
Oh, but hindsight's a great thing. I mean, you're saying that now looking back, aren't you? But you did that at the time because that's what felt right, and you have to go with your instincts.
Yeah.
You shouldn't knock
And
yourself off.
you live and learn by your mistakes.
Yeah.
You do. OK, we're taking one last break.